Hello, welcome to the next Notes from the Den, coming to you from the secret location in the South Downs. I'm up at the Den again. I've been writing quite a bit today, but also recording some podcast episodes, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update on what I've been working on. So I've tried to get a little bit ahead with my blog writing this week by sending a few blogs over to my copy editor. And the reason for this is that it allows me to then record and edit 2 videos next week, so that I've actually then got a week ahead with the video editing and releasing, which takes the pressure off a little bit in terms of writing the blogs. When I'm writing week to week, as in I'm writing the blog that is going out the following week, then it can sometimes feel a bit pressured in order to write something. So if I have a session where I'm in the flow, I will try and write 2 ideas back to back, which I can sometimes do. Sometimes I can't get in the flow, but the weeks I can, I always try and do it. So this week I managed to do it. I also spent a little bit of time mapping out the content that I'm going to be making for a number of different people. So for this podcast, my blog, my videos, that kind of thing. So for me, the reframing marketing content. I've also mapped out some content that I'm going to be making for Small 99 with Adam Bastock. We're going to be starting a podcast there and making some more content for that audience, which I'm going to be involved in, which is exciting. And also we are rebranding the agency that I run, so there's a whole load of content to be made and rewritten and refactored there, which is also very exciting. So there's lots coming up, lots of creative work in the flow, which feels good. And on the back wall of the Den here, there's a nice wooden panel and there's lots of post-it notes and pens, so I've got creative and got away from the screen for a bit and covered the wall in post-its basically with all my ideas, which feels really good. It's quite a rewarding process. So this week's blogs, I've written one on niching as a feeling, which I had a coaching one-to-one session with, where someone was talking about how they were getting a bit stuck with their niching. And we essentially worked out that it was because they were approaching it from the wrong angle. They were trying to niche by a job sector or a job description, and it was very focused on the role that that person had. What actually transpired is that it was far more effective to describe the feeling that that person had that was holding them back. And actually the job role didn't matter as much. So the feelings that were involved, the emotions and the point at which that person was at was actually the niche, really. So there's a whole blog coming out about that, and there'll be a podcast as well, obviously. I also wrote about the comparison trap after running a session where people were saying that they were sort of feeling like they had to keep up with another coach, or they saw someone else who was doing work in a similar field and thought they had to kind of mimic them in order to appeal to the same clients. So I wrote a blog about how you can kind of make yourself stand out and be a bit different. And then the third blog I wrote was about how you can avoid jumping straight into ads, because I've had quite a few people come to me recently and say that they want to sort of get started with their marketing and they're wondering how to do marketing and then run some ads as well. So I wrote a blog about how that might not be the best way to start and how that's a good way to spend a lot of money and end up with some really bad clients. So that was a really interesting one to write. And then I've also decided to record some back catalogue episodes from the blog. So as the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed, I haven't been recording podcast versions of the blogs I've been putting out. I think just because I was holding it back. I don't know why, really. I just didn't really get into the flow of it when I started. And then I was making it more complicated than it needs to be. And then a few weeks ago, I wrote a blog about whether the reason you weren't starting your marketing is because you were making it more complicated than it needs to be. And I thought, hang on a minute, Simon, you would give yourself this advice. So that's why I started the podcast, and that's why you are now listening to it wherever you are. So, I've decided to go back through the back catalogue and record me reading versions of the blogs. So that will be appearing on the feed soon. Now, I'm reading them in a slightly different way than they're presented in the video. So they are brand new versions of the same ideas. And I do give them a little edit because I do muck up as I'm reading them, because I'm reading and I'm dyslexic. So I find reading, I sometimes just muddle the words completely and get it wrong. Unlike this podcast where I'm not reading anything, I'm staring out of the window at an oak tree blowing in the wind, which is rather lovely, really, isn't it? So that is what I've been working on this week. The book is currently with Dave, the copy editor, who is giving it a read through and a check, and he will highlight any areas where I've not got enough examples or gone off on a tangent. I'll have a final go through it, and then it will be checked again by Dave, and then it will go off for typesetting, and then the new version will be ready to buy, which is very exciting. So yeah, it's all progressing very quickly. So I hope that this has got you thinking a little bit about your marketing. I do appreciate all of you who listen to these little rambly updates from me. So, and until next time, happy marketing.